Imagine waking up one morning, sipping your usual cup of coffee, and realizing that the very same drink now costs more than it did yesterday. Not just a few pennies, but enough for you to pause and wonder, what changed overnight? Now, take that feeling and stretch it across every aspect of your daily life. Your groceries, your utilities, your commute. In 2024, that's exactly what many in the UK might experience due to the newly implemented tax increases. The questions on everyone's mind is, how will it really affect me? What changed? A rise in taxes, but not just any taxes, your taxes. The year is 2024, and the UK has implemented significant tax hikes that are about to reshape everything from your grocery bill to your paycheck. How will it affect your daily life? What does it mean for your future? And most importantly, what can you do about it? We're about to dive into the nitty-gritty details of the 2024 UK tax increase and its impact on individuals, families, and businesses across the country. It's more than just numbers. It's about how those numbers translate into real-world consequences for everyday people, people like you. The bigger picture. Why now? First, let's explore the context. Why is the UK government increasing taxes in 2024? The answer lies in a complex mix of post-pandemic recovery, rising national debt, inflation, and a commitment to fund public services like the NHS. The government needs more revenue to cover growing expenses, and one of the most effective ways to do that is by increasing taxes. But what does that mean for you as a consumer, a worker, or a business owner? The truth is, no one is completely immune. Everyday expenses, groceries, bills, and transport. Let's start with the essentials. The cost of living in the UK was already on the rise, with inflation pushing food prices to record levels. Now, add higher taxes into the mix, and it's a recipe for even steeper costs on everyday necessities. Imagine you're a single parent. You head to the supermarket each week, carefully planning your meals and stretching every pound. With this tax hike, what used to be a manageable weekly grocery shop could become a stressful balancing act. Bread, milk, and fresh vegetables, items that once seemed affordable, may suddenly feel like luxuries. And it's not just food prices. Energy bills, already a source of anxiety for many households, will likely climb higher too. Let's take the example of Sarah, a school teacher living in Manchester. For Sarah, every penny counts. She budgets carefully to provide for her two kids, cutting down on unnecessary expenses. But as her electricity bill creeps up due to increased taxes on energy companies, she's forced to decide between heating her home properly in the winter and saving for her children's future. The tax hike is turning her well-balanced budget upside down, one small increase at a time. Now, picture your commute. Whether you rely on public transport or drive to work, the cost of getting from point A to point B will likely rise. Fuel prices, already volatile, could become even more unpredictable as supply chains and transport costs adjust to the new tax environment. A simple drive to the office or the cost of a train ticket might soon take a bigger bite out of your paycheck than ever before. Impact on salaries and jobs, more taxes, less take-home pay. Now, let's talk about your paycheck. The 2024 tax increase isn't just targeting businesses or goods, it's also coming for your income. As taxes go up, you might find yourself bringing home less than before. This could hit middle-class families especially hard, as they often fall into the income brackets that bear the brunt of such tax changes. Consider Michael, an engineer in London. He's worked hard for years to build a career and provide a stable life for his family. With the tax increase, he's seeing a noticeable dip in his take-home pay each month. While it may seem like just a small percentage at first glance, those small amounts add up over time, affecting his ability to save, invest, and plan for the future. For many people, especially those in the middle income range, the tax increase is like an invisible hand slowly but steadily taking more from their pockets, making financial freedom feel further out of reach. Business owners, balancing growth and survival. And what about businesses? Whether you run a small cafe in Bristol or a tech startup in Edinburgh, these tax increases can significantly impact your operations. Businesses will face higher corporation taxes, making it more challenging to grow or invest in new projects. Some may be forced to raise prices, cut back on staff, or even shut down entirely. Take James, who runs a small bakery in Glasgow. He's already struggling with rising ingredient costs due to inflation. With the tax increase, he'll either need to raise prices on his goods, risking the loss of loyal customers, or cut costs elsewhere. But where do you cut when you're already operating on a shoestring budget? Vivid imagery and relatable anecdotes. Picture yourself in a cafe. The aroma of fresh coffee fills the air, but when you glance at the menu, the prices have jumped overnight. Your regular flat white, once a comforting indulgence, now feels like a luxury. What's behind the rise? Taxes. The cafe owner, squeezed by increasing costs across the board, had no choice but to pass the burden on to you. The story doesn't stop there. Small business owners across the UK are grappling with difficult decisions. Do they raise prices and risk losing customers? Or do they absorb the costs, cutting back on staff wages, hiring fewer workers, and reducing the quality of their offerings? Either way, the 2024 tax increase has planted a seed of uncertainty in the economy. And it's not just local cafes and shops that will feel the strain. Larger corporations, too, are navigating this tax landscape. While they may have more financial resilience, the ripple effects will still touch employees, shareholders, and consumers alike. Surprising statistic. Here's a fact that might shock you. According to recent projections, the average UK household could see an annual increase of £700 in living costs directly attributed to the 2024 tax hikes. And for lower-income families, this could mean a struggle to afford the basics, pushing many closer to the poverty line. The government has estimated that 1.2 million more people could be classified as living in relative poverty by the end of 2024, a sobering statistic that makes it clear. These tax increases are not just numbers on a spreadsheet, they are real-life consequences for millions. What can be done? The 2024 tax increase will undeniably affect everyone in the UK. But what can be done to soften the blow? For individuals, financial planning will be more crucial than ever. Creating a budget that accounts for higher costs, looking for ways to save on energy bills, and finding additional sources of income could all help mitigate the impact. For businesses, innovation and efficiency will be key. Finding ways to operate more leanly, exploring alternative revenue streams, and even lobbying for government support are essential strategies for survival. Ultimately, the 2024 UK tax increase represents a shift in the economic landscape, one that requires preparation, adaptability, and a keen understanding of how these changes will filter down to every aspect of life. So, as the dust settles on this new tax era, one thing is clear. The way forward involves more than just understanding the numbers. It's about making smart choices and preparing for a different kind of future. If you find this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.